Germs? Welcome to the next level. So, I've been wanting to get this out for a while. Every week probably I'm going to basically I have a post on my blog every Friday where I just talk about my opinions and what I think's gonna happen and all this jazz for video games around. And yeah, I was a little late posting that. I was watching Full Metal Alchemist almost all day on Saturday. It was great. So, but yeah, I'm basically just gonna put it into a video so you can either listen to it, you can read it, or if you don't even know about one or the other, you can get both of them. So, this week, we're about a week and a half away from Pokemon X and Y coming out, and I've been thinking a lot about it lately. Like, hey, who's gonna be my starter? Like, oh man, starters, it's from the beginning you're just wondering, who am I gonna pick? From the beginning it's a challenge, and heck, I may even do 3 different games with one of every starter. I may even have to do like 9 so I can get every combo of the 2 if we get Kanto starters right away. But I'm thinking, yeah, I get a free Torchic, so I don't really want Charmander and Fennekin. I don't want to be too fire overpowered, because if I could get, because the Torchic would take care of the fire, and then I could get and then Chespin, Froakie, or Squirtle and Bulbasaur would be left for the other 2, and I really, really, really want Froakie, especially if I have to choose between Chespin and Froakie. It's not even a contest. Chespin, to me, is just like an Oshawott knockoff, kind of. He looks exactly like Oshawott almost, except a little different headgear, and he's grass instead of water. But Froakie just looks so cool, and I think his final evolution is gonna be sick. Like, oh man. And the problem there is Squirtle has always been my favorite Generation 1 Pokemon. Generation 1 starter, sorry, not Pokemon. Oh, I mean, every game, almost every game I've played for Generation 1 where I get to pick Kanto starter, I've picked Squirtle. I've picked Charmander too. I've never picked Bulbasaur. But if this is X and Y, so I'm playing it for the new Pokemon, and I want to think about that starter first, the Kalos starter first. And if I was picking out of the 3, even if I had Fennekin in there, wasn't getting the free Torchic, I would pick Froakie. He just looks so cool. I love the whole. I mean, he could be a water fighting. Finally, get rid of those fire fightings. He could be a water dark. How cool would that be? I even saw this one guy rambling on how he could be a water flying, because of the clouds, and then I just really like the way he looks. Oh man, Fennekin looks pretty cool too. Fennekin could be Fennekin could also be a fire dark, or not also. I doubt they would have 2 dark secondary types, or a psychic maybe. Psychic would be more like it. Braixen, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The Fennekin's second evolution knows Psycho Cut, psychic type move, and I was talking with one of my friends about it, and he's a big Pokemon fan too, and he noticed the stick that Braixen has in its tail, or it's holding behind its back, one of the 2, and he said it could be a wand, like a wizard, psychic, that jazz. I thought, hey, yeah, and I saw a leaked image of the final evolutions. It may not be right, but it did have that stick, and it had some sort of plasma or aura, something on it. But back to the starters. I hate to not have Squirtle, and I'm not saying I couldn't have 2 waters and then the Torchic, but then that'd leave a grass, and I just don't know how the whole thing's gonna float. It'd be nice if I could just knock those 3 out of the way first, and then I could build the rest of my team behind them. I've gotten kind of used to the Bulbasaur idea. Man, Squirtle, the Blastoise Mega Evolution's really cool, and the Charizard one is really cool. And the Bulbasaur one, they just stuck a flower and some more designs on his head, and added a palm tree or 2, and grew him a foot or 2, and gave him some more weight, like 122 pounds or something. And man, I would say Bulbasaur is my least favorite of the Kanto starters, just because of the sheer awesomeness of the other ones. But Bulbasaur is number one, number 001, and he's the first Pokemon in the Pokedex, and it'll help me get past it. I mean, nothing against Bulbasaur, but Squirtle and Froakie, and I don't even normally pick water types. I think those are the only two I pick. Did I pick? Oh yeah, I guess I picked Oshawott. I don't know. Now that I think about it, 2 of my 5, yeah. And then, oh no, I picked Totodile too. Almost like water types or something. I never really thought about it. I'm always like, fire and grass, and water is always like, yeah, there's water too. But now that I think about it, I picked Squirtle, Totodile, Trico, Chimchar, and Oshawott. And I even did one with Piplup. My goodness. So the only one I didn't pick was Mudkip. And my other friend says he always picks Mudkip. 2 of my friends say they always pick Mudkip. Whew. And then another thing that I was thinking about with the starters is Fennekin. We're finally not going to get a firefighting. I mean, it's not, when you think about it, it was only 3 straight firefightings, but then again, that means 3 out of the 5 were firefighting. And, yeah, we're done with that, Pokemon. We're done with the firefighting. We're sick of it. Emboar, we got sick of it. I mean, Blaziken was cool. Blaziken's sweet. And then comes Infernape, and we're like, yeah, he's pretty cool. I myself always loved Infernape. And then there's Emboar, and it's like, okay, we have some more firefighting. When's this gonna end? And, man, a fire psychic, man. When I, first realized that this won't be a firefighting, final evolution for Fennekin, I was so happy. And even though I probably will never pick Fennekin, it was so relieving. And then the friend I was talking to, we both decided we're gonna get Froakie, and then we're like, oh, what are they gonna be, water dark or water fighting? And then I saw this, the Chespin. How I was talking about, he looks like Oshawott, and then when you look at his second evolution, it looks like Pignite. And then, so if you think about it, Oshawott is the first evolution in the water starter line of Gen 5, and then Pignite is the fire type secondary evolution in the line for the Generation 5 fire starter. And so it always goes, and so if you think about it, Superior, are we going to get the final Chespin evolution to look like the Superior design? I saw that. I can't remember where I saw it, but it's like, weird. But I hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope that I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know how they would even tie that into it. It would make no sense. Like, hey, we got this squirrel here. Oh, now he's a pine cone. Oh, now he's I don't even know, a snake. Well, it's a snake, but I still don't get the Chespin. I don't know what he's gonna be. Is he even gonna have a secondary type? Is he gonna be like kind of Sandslash, like big and bulky, sharp, and kind of like maybe he's a grass ground type. I could see that happening. Before the Froakie realization that he's probably water fighting, said he could maybe be grass fighting, big bulky type. And then, what if all of their subtypes are fighting? Man, that'd be awful. If I found out that all the subtypes were fighting before I pre-ordered the game, I wouldn't have pre-ordered it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, unfortunately. Well, I would hope that they would never do such a thing like that. And I think that they would never do that. But I thought they wouldn't do something else, and with it, man, I every day when I'm talking to someone about Pokemon, and we're talking about the new Pokemon and all that, this gets brought up every time. This Honedge and Doublade thing. Okay, so they're just taking the same Pokemon and putting it together twice. I mean, what does what does it accomplish? We gave you Mulligan for Dugtrio, Magneton, Klinklang, Vanillix, maybe even Weezing. I'm probably forgetting some. Gosh, they've taken so many Pokemon and just like cloned it and then bonded it together. But really, I mean, when I first saw Honedge, I'm like, yeah, he's okay. He's a sword. It's a sword, and it's just got this wing thing on it, and it's just got some symbols and designs, and yeah, and I mean, he's Steel Dark's fine and all that, but, and then, I mean, to me, and I don't even know if people will remember this, but he looked like something from Shaolin Showdown. He looked like you know, yeah, I just brought you all back. Yeah, but they've really killed. Like, I mean, Steel Dark's good, but it's not as good as it used to be with all the new stuff they're introducing, and then when they unveiled Doublade, that was actually the day I saw the first leaked picture, the first quote-unquote leaked picture of the final evolutions for Froakie and Fennekin, and they didn't have a Chespin one. They're like, oh, there's going to be a big announcement later today, and I'm like, oh, are we going to see the Chespin one? Even though, why would Pokemon just show us the Chespin one? And if they didn't want the leaked evolutions to come out, they're just going to come out and say those leaked ones are real. I mean, then that'd give credibility to anybody leaking anything. And then they came out with Doublade instead, and I'm like, I'm done. This is, I don't know what they were thinking. They're like, maybe we could make this kind of lame Pokemon in Honedge. Maybe we could make his second evolution like pretty nifty and kind of overpowered because people will be put off by its weak design. Like, it's just a sword. He's not even a Pokemon. It's not a creature. Like, I know they're just Pocket Digital creations, but he doesn't even look like, if you look at Generation 1, they all at least have some sort of resemblance of some sort of animal or creature or machine, and this is just a weapon that hardly even has a face that you can even tell. But yeah, instead of making it cool, they're like, hey, let's just turn it 90 degrees, change its color, and call it something completely different. It's like, really? What if someone like mistaked a Honedge for two Honedges, like out on a date or mating or something, sorry, for a Doublade, and they're like, oh, let's catch a Doublade, and they try and catch one, and they only, it's just, it's the same scenario with Dugtrio. I mean, wouldn't it just be a couple Digletts having a party, being a Dugtrio, and it's a completely different animal? I mean, but I'm gonna, sorry Dugtrio, you get enough hate on the internet as it is. Ugh. Man. I want to talk on a positive note. We need to get off this bad negativity. Honedge, go away. So let's talk about something positive. Like, as the day grows closer, I'm like, ooh, reveal more Pokemon to me every day. They're obviously not doing it, but hey, when they first came out with the starters, Fennekin, Chespin, and Froakie, I'm thinking, they're pretty nifty. I like the way they look. And as they kept releasing more, I'm like, oh, those are some cool ones. Yeah, I like the look of most of these here. 3 of them really stood out. I loved Litleo's look. It was not outstanding, but it brought me back to the previous generations. It was cute, yet it was fierce, yet it was just awesome. And then I saw Pyroar, and I was sold. His his overall design, how the evolution from Litleo to Pyro, it works perfectly with like nature, and his mane is just beautiful. I'll be kind of disappointed if I don't get the male version because of that awesome mane, but the female one's just as cool. The little ponytail thing. And then the other two Pokemon that stood out were the fossil Pokemon. Amara and Tyrant, when I first saw them, the first evolution of them, they were pretty cool. I really liked Tyrant's, the dinosaur look. And then Amara, was she a Apatosaurus or something like that with wings on her neck? It was just a cute, old school type Pokemon. Then they evolved. Aurorus and Tyrantrum were awesome, through the roof. They have nice combo types. They have really neat designs. And they fit Pokemon. The idea I have with Pokemon, these three fit perfectly. And then it's going to be a tough choice to decide between those two fossil Pokemon, assuming we choose between the two. I'm probably going to base it on whatever my team looks like at the time when I choose. And sure, other Pokemon that were revealed, like Pangoro, the panda Pokemon, he's really cool. Noivern, that sound bat thing, and Go-Go-Oat, that goat that they showed you riding, and coming from that little baby goat, the little kid. And then Helioptile, the little I don't know what he really is, kind of a giraffe or with big ears, floppy. I don't know what he's supposed to be. I should probably check that. I'm interested now that I think about it. They're neat, but they're not the coolest thing since, Nintendo 64. They're just another Pokemon I mean, they fit Pokemon, like, better than some of the things from Gen 5 and even old Gen 4. But those are the three that I talked about really stood out. All in all, I really think Pokemon X and Y is going to be great, and I'm really looking forward to it. Man, October 12th can't get here quick enough. I've pre-ordered it. I'm going to be gone for most of that day, but the day I get home, that thing's getting played the crap out. GTA 5 needs to move over, because this is a new Gaming Kingpin sequel coming out. We're going to top your record. It's going to be great. It's going to be better than GTA. Well, maybe not sales-wise, but it's going to be a great game. I think a lot of people are going to really like it. I know a lot of people that already are going to love it. And I think out of the people that say lately they've either been anything past Gen 2 is dumb, really stupid, or like, get out of it, this isn't real Pokemon. Or the ones that say, I love it all, the new ones aren't as cool, but I love it all Pokemon. I think that'll bring that group closer together. They'll be like, they finally got their groove back. It's back. It's new. It's fresh. It's revolutionary. There's some designs and ideas that question their motives still. The new subtypes for starters, though, no more firefighting. We're getting a better subtype for water. It's gonna be great. It's bringing back a little old school with the new stuff mixed in, and obviously the new on the 3DS. The new, you can go anywhere. It's not restricted to those certain grids. And then the new cool designs that we haven't seen before. Things we haven't seen before, they're too non-Pokemon like. The new designs. It's not just a rehash of something we've seen or something we don't want to see. I think this may be the finest journey of Pokemon that you will take in the past couple titles. I mean, Diamond and Pearl, starting with Diamond and Pearl, and Black, White 2. Pokemon was still really good. I really loved it still. But that's when people that played the old school, Red and Blue, and even like Ruby and Sapphire, people that played those, that's where they kind of started to trail off and be like, this is for the new kids, this is for the 6-year-olds, this is going to bring them all back together, and we'll finally have a Pokemon game for everybody. And I just can't wait. It's going to be great. So that's the end of my podcast. Well, I don't know if I'll call it a podcast for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed everything I had to say. If you have any questions, leave comments and I'll answer them in my next talk. If you have any opinions, thoughts, ideas about Pokemon XY, go ahead and leave it in the comments or message me or something like that, and I may bring it up and talk about it. And I hope you all enjoy this. And just remember, these are opinions. These aren't like, yeah, this is what you have to think. And I'm not trying to press this on you, but yeah, just have fun and good luck with life. Yeah, well, until next time, fans, goodbye.